Good morning, everybody. Definitely a pleasure to be with you. We're going to shake up these videos a little bit. We're going to do some round tables, some panels. We're going to do some things here in the future. And so we welcome you and thank you so much for taking your time out and going after your health issues. You know, when you realize what really the causative factors are in man's health issues, you realize how simple it is and directly related to what he eats, what he drinks, what he breathes, and what he puts on his skin. I mean, you have to realize that your whole lifestyle is why you're where you're at, and your family genes on top of that. That's you, physically. Now, how about emotionally and mentally? So we come as a soul, we come with different parts to us that we've been talking about over YouTube. And so all these things we're working on getting well. So what we're going to do this morning is just have a little question and answer thing. You know, let's go back for it, try to catch up on some of your questions here. And I brought some help. Jennifer and Drew.
Hi.
Hi again.
So I think I'll let you're the moderator. We're just here watching you, right?
Go, Drew, go.
Go, Drew, go.
All right, this is our detoxification debate, apparently, right?
Detoxification debate.
All right.
I like that.
I like that
we
too.
Need a desk.
Detoxification
I
debate.
think we need like a little desk.
Yeah, I need. So there's no parties here. It's just a detox party.
Detox party.
You know,
I'm for that. Detox party.
So we're going to start off. What we're doing basically is taking your questions from YouTube. Anybody. This is people from all over, and whoever wants to chime in, we can do this, right?
Yeah.
Anyone feels to.
Well, we're just here to watch you, man.
Exactly. That's okay. I've done this in the past, and this is great. This one is from Clarissa. Hi, Clarissa. This is from Clarissa on YouTube. She watches you.
Good.
And she watches every video.
Good.
And her question to you is, I'm trying to find out how to do the fruit detox and can't find any videos on it.
Huh.
So please, someone reply. Simply, one of the things that you can do is you can go onto Google, go to the search engine. When you go on Facebook, there is a fan page of Dr. Robert Morse. You can find him. There is no affiliation to us. There are people who are students of Dr. Morse who are on Facebook. You know, I don't do the social network, but you can certainly find Dr. Robert Morse on that exact name on Facebook. There's a great fan page of Robert Morse who will gladly help you out in with any questions that you have. And what do you feel about that? Having that social networking.
Well, that was the whole goal of setting up the YouTube, is to have all of those that wanted to be healers go out and enjoy it. Now it's stressful, and yeah, it's stressful to be a healer at this level. We had a medical doctor sitting in here a few weeks ago, and his wife told me by the end of the day, and he was just sitting in on us, he went home, went to bed. He said, my God, you know, working at these levels, but that's what you have to realize, that the human condition is pretty advanced in the scope of cell weaknesses and levels of toxicity. And I think it's becoming very apparent, the kidneys. Now, I talked to just a beautiful soul yesterday, and she was a college professor in anatomy and physiology, by the way. And we were laughing about that because she is a professor in that, teaches that, and still feels that they have it wrong in terms of the absorption or the movement of cellular waste back into the venous system. And I thought, that is such a bizarre concept that in no way chemically does it ever make sense. The kidneys are the eliminative organ, so the more we're seeing kidneys out there and people are focusing on kidneys, you're seeing it everywhere. So the best food for the kidneys is fruit, but it's also the best food to detoxify.
Well, I think what she's asking is more specific.
Sure.
What fruit diet? And even with the videos, I'm sure as you watch them, you understand that the basic simplicity is fruits, melons, and berries. So I think with what you're trying to ask is more specific on how to get started. And if that's the way I'm reading your question, I would say to start off slow. If you're new to this, introduce fruits What?
I read it that way too, but I'm just kind of going the long way.
No, I know. I'm just saying though, but if she's wanting to know more specific how to start the fruit detox, basically that's just it. You have to start somewhere, start one day at a time, start with fruits, melons, and berries, introduce it. If you can do fruits all day first, and then introduce the leafy green salad in the evening time. But more specific, if you're looking to know what specific foods each and list them, that's just something that you're going to have to work with in your own environment of what's available to you.
That's a big
So,
one.
yeah. And I know a lot of people now, with being cold in winter, fruit's hard to find. So you're going to have to just do the very best you can and find the foods that you can enjoy that are still in the fruit kingdom.
Yeah.
And that's a
Good
big part of
Yeah.
how hard it is for some people to stick with fruits, is because they can't get the availability. And a lot of times people really get upset about they can't find organic. And what we do with people, you can only do what you can do. So if you can't get organic, then get the conventional. Just make sure you wash it really well with a good veggie wash and not stress about it. Right?
Good point.
A lot of
That's
questions.
excellent.
A lot of questions come in about. Well, I can't find that resource of that organic, the grapes, the watermelon. It's not in season.
Right.
So what do I do? You just have to do the best that you can.
Yeah.
You know, fruits, again, you just have to thoroughly rinse, wash them, and just use your own judgment as far as what you pick, you know, because it's really hard. There's a lot of labels out there, organic, in these supermarkets, and even in these Whole Foods places. You don't necessarily know how they are grown or treated or, you know, taken care of. You just have to use your proper judgment, and you can find these resources online. You can go to organic, you know, type in organic fruits and the location. Sometimes you can find a resource, maybe not in your area that's being grown. You can find a resource that they can ship to you. You know, you can find a different state that has that specific fruit in season, that's in season at their, you know, that time of year, and you can have them shipped. There are companies out there that can certainly help of all types of fruits and vegetables out there that you can find.
Yeah. You know, you have to realize that each and every one of you are part of a renaissance, a movement to raise the consciousness on this planet. If you look at it, and I've been talking to you all about getting out of your minds, and this is real important for the coming of what's happening. You notice on one side the negative energy is getting stronger. On the other side, we must get stronger. We are the spiritual people. We reflect God consciousness. And that's why it's so important. This is why I talk about ethics and truth, and always stand up for what's truth, always. And so when you wake up to the simplicity of what's causing our problems and what we have to do to remedy it, then we move into what we call the tropical diet. And we call our program a tropical diet, because it's just what it is, because we're a tropical species. We might be inhabiting northern climates and things, but that's taken its toll. And we've talked about that, the guy about adaptation, we've talked about all this, and you witness it. We witness this firsthand because we're right into your health issues. Some of you guys are very advanced in your health issues, and we feel every one of your pains. That's what you have to understand here. We're just good God people that's trying to help people find their remedy. Get yourself well, because the negative forces are trying to remove remedy from all of you. And that's in law, and that's in health, and that's in every walk of life. Fruit has been given a huge bad rap, and I never have been able to understand that, because if you go back and you look at the cycle of growth of detoxification, you'll find that vegetables never played a role in detoxification. It played a role in people's health issues, because eating salads always was considered healthier. But let me tell you, eating a big bowl of fruit is even healthier than that. If you look at the nutrition of a big bowl of fruit, and your grapes and your apples and your bananas, as opposed to the same bowl of vegetables, your bowl of fruit is a lot more nutritive on a lot of levels. You don't have the heavy minerals and the heavy amino acids that vegetables do, but that's where we're lost. Man's lost in heavy minerals and heavy amino acids, and that's not what makes you healthy. You turn to the fruits, you got the flavonoids, and what's neat about fruit is when you realize that your kidneys aren't filtering, and you're out there creating all this activity and getting worse, fruits will detoxify you while you're at rest. Why? It's called astringents. So fruit is the number one way to detoxify. I don't care what anybody says out there. We're well known for it. Jennifer's been with me for most of my life almost, and Drew a lot of years, and we've detoxed tens of thousands of people. We know what detoxifies you and what doesn't. Unfortunately, some people are so sick they can't even handle the fruit sometimes. And what do we do if they can't handle the fruit?
You gotta go slow, slow, slow.
Absolutely, that comes in too as a call. I get several calls a day. People who in the more chronic level, degenerative conditions, they tell me that their system is so acidic, they can't handle the sugars from the fruits, and that's a great question too. Let's go to the sugars at that point. How would you?
Excellent.
I get a lot of questions about people who are diabetic, type 1 or 2, and their doctors are telling them they cannot consume fruits at all because of the sugars.
Yeah, bad rap city. People are fixated on sugar, and I just, again, that's a social misunderstanding of sugars. And remember, there's all levels of sugars, but there's all levels of amino acids, and there's all levels of fatty acids. So the main issue is that the more complex a food is, the less it's bioavailable to us. The more we have to spend hours digesting it, the absorption issues, and their residue issues. Foods have chemical residue issues. We're going to look at starch. It's a sugar, but it has gluten. So what we have is glue. So we have residues from the breakdowning of chemistry, and we have to understand those residues too, and that effect upon the body, the ash after after digestion. So no matter how you turn this and how you spin it and look at it, fruits, berries, and melons will always be at the top of the food chain for humans. Look at what it does in our neurological cases. We can't do anything with vegetables neurologically. Put them on fruit, and you see regeneration. So we're here to dispel the bad rumors about fruit.
Well, this brings up another good point from the questions about sugars with their fruits. I got an email yesterday from a client who's been through the class and has a little girl that she's working with diabetes, and she's been on the herbs for over a year now. And what she's doing is she's doing the diet as best as she can, and she's come a long way. But her glucose numbers have gone perfect, but her other numbers, I don't know, she didn't get specific with it, are still all over the place. But the doctor said that by now she should have been able to increase her medicines, but she has not been able to increase her medicines. Her glucose numbers have been phenomenal, but she can't get the other numbers to maintain. So she feels like at this point she doesn't know what to do with this case, so she wants to pass them on. I said, in my opinion, I think she's doing a great job. You're going to have the numbers go up and down as you're detoxing, and the only thing you can do is keep doing what she's doing. There's nothing else that's going to change, especially if those numbers are coming down. She hasn't had to increase her meds. Bravo.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, that's what I say too, because when you're getting into the children now, you're getting into genetics, and you're getting into more involved lymph systems. So what we've got is serious trouble with the children, and we've been harping about this on the YouTube, and the importance of you mothers out there moving your children to raw. And the coconut milks and stuff. It is phenomenal to see the difference between the children raised this way and the children raised on all the high proteins and high fats. It's a good way for you to have serious trouble with your children is to feed them formulas or to feed them any of these high fat, high protein drinks. It's a medical doctor bullcrap. They have no clue about health, and yet they proudly stick their chests out and give these ridiculous opinions that have no worth to them. That's not their field. The worst thing you can do is have someone give a professional opinion in a field they have no experience or education over. That makes me, that's vomitous. Because that gets me on the grinding wheel sometimes. And the same thing with herbs. Yeah. Medical doctors spout off these big things about herbs, and they're the least knowledgeable about botanicals. If you want to know about botanicals, go to a botanical school, where you have professors that have taught this and learned this. People that use botanicals. You don't go to a medical doctor that doesn't know a first thing about it and say, what do you think about herbs? I mean, you know what you're going to get.
Ego does not heal or cure.
Yeah.
You have to take this on your own. This is your journey of healing and cleansing and detoxification. This is your own. So, again, it's people who are telling you who are uneducated. It's ego. It's their own egos and their lack of knowledge that are unable to help you. So it's the way you register the information. And again, this goes back under their detoxification is under that individual's own discretion.
Yeah,
it's their own journey.
I blame our society. You got the medical American Medical Association, you got the Rockefellers, you got the same consciousness as the World Bank, and you got the same consciousness at the IRS, no matter what country the IRS is in, and the same consciousness of the FDA, you got the same consciousness of the medical profession. You know, strong arm, cut down, rule, that sort of thing. And it's unbelievable, the tactics they use scare people.
It's just fear.
Fear.
And speaking of fear, though, with getting back to the moms and the babies and so forth, don't fear giving your children fresh juices. Even I started my kids out at 8 weeks old with fresh fruit juices, grape and apple. Of course, I diluted some of it, but they can handle it and they will flourish on it. So don't fear the juicing. Don't fear the raw foods with your babies. At this time, I know there's a lot of mothers with new babies being born or already born. But start making your own foods, put it in a blender, a Vitamix. They have those baby bullets out now that are really cool and cute. So don't fear giving your babies whole foods as far as mashing them and making them, you know, able to be eaten. But they have, they thrive off of that fruit.
They do.
They really do. And don't be afraid to give them herbs either, especially breastfeeding mothers. Comes up all the time. Yes, what you consume will go to your baby, but it's always about trying what is best for you and your body. So if you take something, start off slow, and then as you get a little bit more progressive with it, then you can increase your herbs, increase your dosage, and then see how your baby does with it. It's all about just trying, seeing what's best for you and your baby, and just working through it as much as you can.
Yeah. You know, the trouble, though, there's a big warning here about babies and raw foods.
Why?
They're going to get smart on you.
Oh.
And that's the problem. They're going to get healthy and they're going to get smart. So if you want smart kids academically, I mean, look at your children. They're so smart, it's unbelievable. And I see this with raw food babies, and it's just unreal. I've seen this for years and years and years. And fruits are the brain and nerve foods. Don't fear that. Fruits, you see what it does with the lady with the MS there. And this is representative all around our client loads. And it's just amazing to see these children suck down this fruit just more and more and more and more and more. We know a little child that has 3 and 4 bananas right off the first thing in the morning. And remember that 3 doctorate professor in Canada said the banana is nature's perfect food. Here's a professor with 3 doctorate degrees that has studied chemistry out the yin-yang of all the foods, and he's concluded that the banana is nature's perfect food. What is banana? A fruit.
Nana.
Oh, Nana. Absolutely.
I love that.
Yeah.
And one of the things is going back to that and going back to the nutrition for the kids, the fruits. There are some parents that have called me saying I have an 8-month-old child.
Oh, 8 months.
The doctor is saying that the child must be consuming the proteins and they should be consuming milk, the dairy, not fruits. What do you think about that, Jen? Going back to that, how would you respond to someone?
I would
about
you get to the
proteins?
point where you have to have a little bit of composure when you get these kind of questions day after day after day, because you live it, you see it, you know that it works. They, on the other hand, they're asking for the first time, they don't know. So it's harder now, the more time that goes on and the more knowledge that you get. When you hear questions like that, it's a little bit what's the word?
Irritating.
Yeah. Thank you. Not in a bad way, not to be negative, but that's ridiculous. I don't understand that question.
After you've been in our shoes for so many years, and we've seen tens and tens of thousands of people resurrect their health issues, and we're right into the mix. You see the fear out there, and after a while, some of these things are ridiculous, because, and that's why it's so important for you guys to grab this and run with this and help all your friends, because we have to change this awareness, because the fruit got so bad that right now even it's hard to get great organic fruit. You know, the farmers pretty much say, oh, people don't like that anyway, we'll focus on something else. So supply and demand is a huge thing, and I think we should always demand the best of the farmers. Get their consciousness up to say, be proud of what you grow for humans. This is what I grew out of the earth, you know, and take another view of all this. Because it's just that this is the superior food of man. If you look at this, the worst foods you can consume are proteins, starches, and fats. These are the top worst foods you can consume, and when you do, your health will go down. I'll take 2 of you guys that are sick, we'll put you on a high protein, high fat diet, and we'll put the same person with the same problem on a high fruit and berry and melon diet, and I'll show you the difference. and it'll be in your face, and it's not
your
even
face.
funny. Yeah, it's just amazing. And when you start raising your babies on high proteins, you start sending them to Hellville already. And that, but is that the plan? I don't know. You know, there's the World Health Organization. There's some weird things there. Although, you know, there's some things the World Health Organization comes out with that's pretty good. So you got both sides of that coin.
And on another note, with the nutritional and mothers and breastfeeding and so forth, and if you feel like you're not getting enough nutrition, superfood blends.
Yeah.
People come on.
Oh my God.
All the
God's
way.
Garden Superfood.
Yeah.
Not
Doesn't
just
matter which
ours.
one.
I mean, of course, we're going to plug ours a little bit.
Yeah.
But
the
definitely.
superfoods, yeah, without the digestive enzymes
Right,
and
right.
without the probiotics, get you a good quality, high green if you want. But remember, greens are hard to break down for children or any other Homo sapien. But with that said, with all the royal jellies, all the berries, all the like alfalfa juices and the juices of the greens, you're going to have a little. You're going to have more than a little ape.
Well, I'll tell you this. With my baby Justin, he's 7 now. When I had taken the superfood blend as a prenatal my entire pregnancies for both of them, and at Justin's week visit, remember I told you this?
Yeah.
The little boy was on hands and knees ready to crawl, and the doctor warned me. She's like, "You better watch this one. He's very strong."
Yeah.
So.
And he's always been strong.
Yeah.
He's always outran everyone. He's always outdid everyone.
He outruns
the brain
me.
is unbelievable.
He outruns me.
Yeah, I mean, it's unreal.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It is. And it's
awesome,
like,
awesome energy.
but it isn't just about nutrition, is it?
Yeah.
Nutrition is only that part of it, because you have to understand that if you're giving them a superfood blend like that, that's more nutrition than any animal on this planet ever gets. So we got this fixation on nutrition, and really, what have we found to be the key or the biggest problem that causes all the cancers, all the inflammation, all the pain? What is it? Is it nutrition, or is it
Well, lymphatic stagnation.
exactly?
It's all that congestion, all that
So
mucus.
we have not only the kitchen to think about, we have the sewer system to think about. And that's what detoxification's about, is the sewer system of the human body. And you have to understand, everything has a kitchen and a bathroom. Nature supplies a kitchen and a bathroom for all creatures. We build kitchens and bathrooms in our homes. The two are hand in hand. You eat, you poop. And what's the other thing you got to do? Pee. And that is cellular waste. And that's where people struggle, is with detoxification. No question. And we understand the struggle.
With detoxification and understanding how to get through a healing crisis, I am in the process of working on, and I know this is going to be brought up, we are doing all kinds of things to greater enhance your understanding and learning with material rather than just the YouTube videos.
Yeah.
We have the Healing Crises book. I am working on it mainly for practitioners and store owners, but for the layperson as well. So just bear with me. We have a lot going on. We have a lot of projects in the fire, and we will get through them. But
Yeah, we're going to go. So this is exciting times.
Yeah.
And we want you to be excited about health and go out and be healers. We were seeing some people talking about on the Facebook, and they wanted to be, they're opening up, matter of fact, a couple of our, actually more than a couple, are wanting to open up healing centers.
Awesome.
That is exactly what we want, because it is about changing the consciousness. We can't keep killing ourselves. I mean, that's ridiculous. And the babies, you know, the struggle that these children are going through in their health issues. And just look at that. Take a look at the commercial for St. Jude.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the thing that really gets me here is how we're treating this. And a good example, and you gotta sift through the illusions and the propaganda bullcrap. Because, and a good example was the other night they did a story on like a 12-year-old girl, and they gave her chemo. And while they're talking about giving her chemo, and they said she has no cancer no more. This is what they said at the beginning of the story, that chemo cured her, and that chemo cures about 90% of the people. And while they're talking about that, they start moving their conversation back into the fact, well, now she's 13 years old, and oh, her cancer's back, but she's in remission. Now she's going for bone marrow transplant. When you get to the point that they tell you to go bone marrow transplant, you're almost done with them. They're in the process of killing you, and you're going down the tubes there. So the illusion of that story was chemo cures 90% of the people, and this little girl got cured from, oh, well, wait a minute, well, yeah, she got cured for it for now, but now she's got it again, but more aggressively, and now you see what I'm saying? This is the lies, this is the crap, and I'm personally, and we all here are fed up with that. And we have to stop that. If not, what happens to man? What happens to the children? They're all killed. But it's a good population control, don't you think? I mean, to think about that instead of education and working with people and children and waiting to have children and working with that, we just kill the kids. Yeah. I mean, I'm telling you, I don't mean to be so aggressive about it, but we see it here so much. The stories, you get the letters all the time. You bring them in here and I start crying. It's unreal. It's unreal.
Yeah.
We get the calls too.
We get the calls. It's sad. You get the calls
emails.
all the time.
What's the next one on the list here?
The next one is actually on the topic of the Great Lymphatic System. Someone responded to your video on the Great Lymphatic System Part 1. This comes from Robert from YouTube. What's up, Robert? How are you? He says, I love the theory of the lymphatic system being a sewer system which goes to the kidneys, except when looking at a roadmap of the lymphatic system, I don't see how you get to the kidneys. There are only a couple of small roads going to the kidneys, but they are going the wrong way. They are for fluid leaving the kidneys. I am missing something.
Yeah, you're missing something, and so is all of like this professor, college professor, who teaches anatomy and physiology. We have a pro chart. This is for practitioner physicians. These are a company we buy these from, where all the physicians get our charts, and this is a chart on the lymphatic system. Well, we take all our charts to school because we're educating you. And so what we find and what people said, well, they don't even show the kidneys, they don't show the duct to the kidneys, and that's what this professor said in A&P. And so why did they eliminate the kidneys? Why did they not show the main portal ducts of the lymph system going to the kidneys and how that works? And why the theory of reabsorption of acids from the cells back into the blood system. If you know about the blood, and you nurses know about the blood, you can't acidify the blood, because how long do you live if you acidify the blood if you can't change it? 3-4 minutes. So you can't dump, and you can't change all acids to base. Impossible. Even the bacteria of the body can't do that. So this is a very serious issue that has been missed, and that's a problem. And I agree with this guy. This is a college professor who teaches anatomy and physiology, agrees with you, and I've had a lot of professors that teach A&P agree the same way. These are theories out there, guys, and even though we should know the body in and out, we don't. Remember, I've said a lot in chemistry, there's a lot of theories out there, and I think that's part of the problem, is that we assume truth is right there. But I've said this many times, the earth is still flat to a lot of scientists.
It's true. It's so true. Thank you, Robert, for that. I mean, that's awesome, because that's what we want every day. We want you to have, if you have a question, again, this goes to anybody out there, YouTube at naturesbotanicalpharmacy.com. The email is posted before every single video of yours, by the way.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
The email, the call for the clinic, if you have those basic questions, want to schedule an appointment, put those questions exactly for anyone out there, YouTube at naturesbotanicalpharmacy.com.
Yes, that is true, but I also want to say something as well, because we do get a lot of emails that are very, very positive and loving, but we also get some that are angry and impatient with us a lot of times.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes. And we do our very, very best to get to every single email in a timely manner. We have multiple people here that do emails, and with the YouTube, we do get that, we don't check that as a way of replying back. This is our way of replying back, so if you can just have a little bit more patience, some of you, with waiting on an answer. And if you do have something that's very important and need immediate response, email info@naturesbotanicalpharmacy or call direct. That's the best way. And we are rectifying our phone situations.
Absolutely. I'm so thankful for that. So we'll be able to transfer to the appropriate department as far as ordering, scheduling an appointment. It's awesome.
We're a small place. We've struggled all our lives to make it. We fought the state trying to shut us down and send me to jail. We fought all kinds of things through these years to be able to give you this knowledge and information. They don't want it out there, and that's part of the problems. I tell you, we've worked with this so many years that when Jennifer and I started focusing on the kidneys, we started wakening up to truth. Because we've been watching that and putting together detox programs. But then we started understanding more about how the body worked in ways that the medical doctors don't. And if you ignore the kidney filtration of the lymph, you're going to ignore your health. Because why do you have elimination through the kidneys? Why do you have two kidneys? Why is the skin tied to the kidneys? And why, when they don't filter, you start seeing lymphatic problems, and when you get them to filter, they're all gone. You can show a tumor here and the kidney not filtering, get that kidney filtering, and that tumor's gone. That's lymph.
Yeah.
So there is that connection, and it's not through the blood system. So, well, however you guys figure that one out, that's up to you guys. For us, we will forever know that truth.
And we will also, when we're recommending herbs to you, and we're not trying to push herbs for you to buy them, there's an important reason why when you're dealing with a parasite M and a lymphatic, those kidneys have to start filtering, or you could throw yourself into a UTI, you could get skin issues or rashing and itching, and it does happen for those who don't have that filtration with their kidneys. So very important when you're ordering the Fab 4, or if you have questions on the herbs, and when we see that come through, most likely we will call you and say, hey, do you have kidney formula, or do you have any at home, or do you need a kidney formula? We very rarely will sell, unless you have it, a lymphatic without a kidney. It's very, 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 very important. We can't stress that enough.
You know why she's saying that? Because we've seen it over and over and over again. Some lady up in Canada one time, she went the allopathic way to treat her cancer, and then of course, like everyone else, explodes through her, so she's scared to death. And she says, I want you to hit me as hard as I can, and hit me, hit me, hit me. So I'm explaining the same thing to her. If I pull too hard on your lymph system into your kidneys, you're gonna, I can, one, make your lymph nodes swell, your tumors grow, and your kidneys hurt. Sure enough, I said, I'll do it, but I'm telling you, she called me, she said, my tumor's growing, and da-da-da-da-da, and I said, told you, back down on the lymphatics, get your kidneys filtering, and then she did, and everything went according to plan.
Absolutely. It's just, I have people ordering, going back to that, when they place orders, they order a lymphatic system 4, and that is our strong lymph mover, without a kidneys and bladder formula. I will immediately, I'll have one of the guys in Nature's Botanical Pharmacy, one of the fellas, and give you a call, because I want you to know, it's really important, you want to have a kidneys and bladder formula with that lymph system. You don't want to be working on lymph alone.
And some people can take months to filter or longer. And remember what's on top of the kidneys? The adrenal glands. And those are the ones that control the kidneys. So both of those tissues have to be considered in this. And this is why we use glandulars as much as we understand the issue of that. Is you have to understand the issue we're faced with in our society and where the human adrenals are. And they're pretty much in the dumpsters. And the blood pressures are so low now, the children's blood pressures are frightening. And so the neurological problems in the children are everywhere. So these are all big deals. And what kills, I say this often to you guys, what kills people the most? Kidney failure. And when you see kidney failure, you see congestive heart failure, you can see pulmonary, you see lymphatic problems everywhere when kidneys fail. Period. So if you ignore those kidneys, you are ignoring a huge vital piece to the puzzle.
And I usually see the pattern of if adrenals are weak, kidneys are weak. Kidneys are weak, adrenals are weak. It's lymph, kidneys, adrenals.
Man and wife, or brother and sister, they're all pumped together.
Yep, some people say I have a lot of fatigue, again, make sure, adrenals, move that lymph system, high fruits, filter the kidneys, get to that point where you see the sediment, the cloudiness, the particles. We want to see all the deep coloration. You want that sewage out of your system. Not in your body. You want it out. Yeah.
And the proof of just what you said, the proof of that is that when you're not filtering, your urine is clear, you have all kinds of health issues.
Exactly.
When your urine starts filtering and you start cleaning, you start seeing your health issues go away, and it's like,
but yes, cool. there is a point where it'll stop. That sediment will stop. It's just another level of detox that you have to go. Move that lymph. It's another level of lymph that you have to get to.
You might bring up a good point there. You might bring up a good point, particularly on vegetable matter, because vegetables are not astringent rich. So vegetables don't have the power to clean the body like they should. So if you're sick and not being able to walk around and move, what do you need? You need some help to detoxify you. Again comes the fruit and berries again, full of astringents. So in every way you look at these fruits, berries, and melons, they're at the top of the food chain for Homo sapiens. Absolutely. It's just the quality. When you go to the store and and buy an unripe pineapple, it's going to always be unripe. And you'll never ever have a good flavor. And that's the problem. you get these good flavors. Well-raised fruits, it's like nirvana. You're eating and you start just getting a buzz on. Oh my God!
Yeah.
This is what God tastes like.
It's amazing when you get that perfect fruit.
Well, look at that organic apple there, Chris.
Oh, can I have that? No, that's an organic apple right there.
That's an organic apple.
Looks like a Red Delicious, but
Yeah.
I love my
It is a
Macs.
Red Delicious.
I got that from the color. I love my Macs. My
Do you?
Macintosh,
Yeah.
they're juicy. Too bad the season's
you're a New
over.
Jersey man anyway. Right? New
York.
New
York.
Macintosh.
Yeah, Macs. Oh, they're juicy. They're flavorful. They're sweet. I love to add that to my juice blends.
Yeah, cool.
You know, I love doing the berries, the grapes, the strawberries.
Well, we've got organic strawberries
You
up
know,
the road now. They're supposed to be killer.
This is
James
the time.
said
We
about
have a place in it's called the Strawberry Festival.
that.
But
That's
they're-
usually in February,
that's-
March.
February,
Yeah.
March is coming up.
But very little organic up
Very,
there.
very little. I said very little. Very
Yeah.
little organic. But
God.
all right.
We're not like alphabet.
Alphabet.
Let's not get off of topic. That's funny. I know. Sorry about that.
That's cute,
They-
Drew. You're so cute.
Thank you. You too. No, the Max, all the strawberries. Going back to the strawberries. Again, strawberries are going to be in season very soon here. Lakeland, Florida, right?
Yeah.
Lakeland.
Now, with strawberries, you
Yeah.
really do want to get those organic.
Yeah.
Yes,
Man.
exactly.
Yeah.
Because of the
Yeah. It's not good to get sprayed.
Pesticides, all
Pesticide
that.
city.
Yeah.
The junk.
Yeah.
Can we talk more about the lymph system?
Yeah, let's talk
I think
about
this
that.
pertains to the lymph system. This is from CB on YouTube. So again, thank you to all who are sending all those comments and questions to us. We want these. Robert, that's you. Can you give an
You can read,
explanation?
Robert.
All right, Dr. Morris, can you give an explanation to the differences between pus and mucus? Despite what the medical profession say, I still think that that there is a huge connection between them because they have similar appearance and consistency.
I agree with that. Well, because it
Pus
is.
and mucus.
I mean, if you pop any decent tumor,
Mhm.
it's pretty nasty. It's necrotic, especially if cells are involved in where the tumor is surrounding that. It gets very necrotic, and the odors is really bad. Pus, all of this is just an infection. Let's tie this all together because let's go back to let's go into the liver a minute, and we said, let's say we have an infection in the liver or something. What are we talking about? Is there some kind of a strange gook in there in the liver, and what is the liver made of, and that sort of thing? You have to go back to understand that no matter where you go, if we cut a piece of your liver, we cut a piece of your prostate if you're a male, we cut a piece of lungs, we cut a piece of kidneys, and we throw them up on a microscope. What do we see in each case? The same thing. If you didn't know where that tissue came from, you wouldn't have a clue where it is because it looks the same. The reason is all we're dealing with cells and two major fluids. So when you have an infection, what part of the body starts that process? Would it be in the kitchen, which all the nutrition, or would it be in the sewer system?
sewer system.
It's going to be in the sewer system. That's just
Remember blood and lymph.
blood and lymph. And of course it's going to be in the sewer system. Well, in the sewer system, you don't always have bacteria around the cells. You have bacteria where? In the lymph nodes. And you happen to notice that's where cancer, we found a cancer cell in the lymph nodes? Where else would they be? Your lymph nodes houses two things that's vital to your understanding: bacteria and macrophages. Macrophages are immune cells that break down damaged cells, and bacteria break down acids. If you don't have, interesting enough, macrophages, which are immune cells that gobble up damaged cells, you don't see them in interstitial fluid around cells, the healthy cells. You don't see those macrophages. You see them in the lymph system, in the lymph nodes and stuff. So that's what you have to understand, is that there's a process of life going on here that reflects itself everywhere, in houses, in nature, has the same thing going on. Everything reflects itself.
Well said.
Awesome.
You think?
That is exactly.
That's it.
Yeah.
I love you.
All right, keep
You're awesome.
going, man.
No, it's just inspiring.
No, I mean, it's just, but
No,
that's it.
it's
I mean, we don't understand that pus, mucus, all this. When you pop a juicy pimple,
Again, going back to
Oh, yeah.
lymphatic.
yeah,
lymphatic,
you get 1/4 blood, 3/4 lymph. But it's that
This-
lymph system that people don't understand enough.
Rosie. This is from Rosie.
Rosie.
This was a nice email sent to us, and Rosie from YouTube. And she says, "Hello, Dr. Morse."
Hi, Rosie.
She's on day 2 of the Master Cleanse, also known as Lemonade Cleanse here, and have foam in my stools. I found on Google that this is the cause of IBS, which I was never diagnosed with. Is it IBS, or is it the foam, simply mucus leaving my body? Also, what are the causes of deep hollow eyes, and are they reversible? If so, how does one reverse it? Thank you for all you do.
Oh. Well, let's talk about the foam in the urine first.
No, stools. She said
in
stools,
the
right?
foam
This
in
is
the
foam
stool.
in the stool.
Oh, stools.
It's mucus.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're going to see all kinds of mucus and foam and stuff coming out of the body. Some of it's a black mucoid plaque, others just mucus. You really, if you're detoxifying appropriately, you're going to see what strings of mucus, aren't you?
Yep, you sure are.
Lymphine broke down.
Yeah.
All that junk, and that's good though. I mean, you want to see the mucus.
Yeah,
You
better
want
out than
to
in, right?
You want
Yeah.
to see the cloudiness.
So
you
I
want to see
wonder if some of that mucus isn't coming from, interstitial, coming
Yeah.
through the bowel wall.
Absolutely.
That's what
I
I'm,
would think.
That's what
That's
I'm
what I think
thinking
so.
too. Is that the body's discharging an unusual way to go, bypassing the lymph node system of the GI tract. But I think essential, don't you? When we see that mucus coming out of you, we know now you're detoxifying. Better absorption's coming, right?
But also, she wants to make sure she is moving throughout
Moving.
Yeah.
her
So-
bowels, her
Well-
stools.
Well, she's right about one thing: is that mucus and all that is the cause of IBS and stuff.
Right.
This is the lymph system, and the lymph system deals with what side of chemistry? The acid side. So if you retain acids, guess what? You're retaining Mr. Pac-Man. Mr. Pac-Man is always like this. What can I chew on today?
Yeah. And a lot of people get concerned with the colors of mucus that come out, and they, if it's orangey, that's good. That's sulfur, right? What do you think?
Well, yeah, you know what? Talk about that, would you? I mean, someone asked me about the color of orange in the eye, and they've researched this on the iridology and everything else, and there all kinds of bullcrap answers to that.
Yeah.
Digestive, all kinds of things about orange ring in an eye. And what have we found through all the years that this orange is? Repetitive.
Sulfur accumulations.
Antibiotic use, sulfur drugs.
And you see that in the iridology too.
You do.
You see drug deposits. You see the accumulations of sulfur. You see the sulfur building up from the colon. And
that's the
spreading
beauty
out.
of the lymph system, because it will, once you start moving it, it will come
Bring it
out.
down.
And I got to tell you, I know I've told this story several times with the schools, if you've come to the school and seen me talk, but there's a question in there about a female question. Do you want us to go to that? We'll scoot to it. It was about the uterus, I believe.
sure. Let's see. Was it an email directly?
It was in there. But anyway, there's an
What does it
email in
say?
here regarding female problems
Yeah, I
with
get it.
fibroids and uterus issues, wanting to take the uterus out, I believe, to some extent. With women with
Get it.
fibroids or any type of female endometriosis, reproductive issues, douching with the Heal All Tea. And that's a key factor that with issues like this you'd want to do. I did it myself, very heavy for 2 weeks on, really straight in the morning and evening time, and I got out that, remember I was telling
Wow,
you? That
alien.
big, huge ball. It was literally the size of my palm, this thick, in a
Wow.
perfect circle. And it just came out when I was urinating, and as I, not to get too much detail, but it came out, I had it right on my hand, and it was a big gob of orange
You might have.
mucus, and it was
You
the
might have
coolest
it.
thing I've ever seen.
Yes.
And I just sat there and watched it and looked at it for the longest time, and I didn't even want to get rid of it because it was just perfectly.
You should have put it in a jar.
I
Oh, I like that stuff like
didn't think
that. We can show it for school.
I know.
What came out of?
Yeah,
Oh,
ew,
I like
ugh.
stuff like that. Yeah.
But it was
See,
really
some of you
cool.
guys send us your worms. Send us
But
your.
don't be afraid of all that stuff
Yeah.
coming out. It's
This is
awesome.
nature.
Listen, it's reality, and I see these every day. I mean, your clients.
Mm.
I get photos sent for follow-ups and for you as updates. People are, and we actually, it sounds weird, but we love it. I don't mind you sending those photos in, especially if you're a client of Dr. Morris. We want those for updates. We want him to see exactly what's going on. What's
The-
going
the
on,
gnarly stuff.
Aye, the gnarly stuff.
Take notes too, even if you can't take the photo, take notes. So when you have your follow-up with Dr. Morris or an appointment, let him know what you experienced, what you saw. Those are very important key things that Dr. Morris can do are relevant, so he can update your protocol. And
Yeah, well, you know what? It's always nice to have a journal. I suggest some of you that are very advanced write books Write yourself a small book and get it out there, guys, and tell the world your journey.
Yeah.
Especially you that have went through Hellville and back. And this would be very important. And it'll give you something to do and maybe some finances. Although anymore, you don't make any money on books or records or anything. The other question to this lady was, I heard you, was deep hollow eyes.
Yeah. What causes? What are the causes of deep hollow eyes, and are they reversible? If so, how does one reverse it?
Well, for us, when we see that darkness and that hollowness, and that is kidney weakness. When we see the puppy begs, you've lost filtration.
Well, good example. Me for example. I suffered for years, even to this day, even with eating very well, even if I go off, you see the dark eyes. It's kidneys, adrenals.
Kidneys and adrenals, see, and then you're fighting the autonomic nervous system.
Absolutely.
And this is exactly what, and you see this every time. So that's where we get our experience, is what we see every single time.
And you're not alone with that.
Yeah, you're not alone with that for sure.
Even me.
Yeah, but you're doing so much better.
And you know
Much
what
better.
is true
Thank you.
too, with like you see on the news with the newscasters with the huge bags, the men in particular, like it's like you just want to. Oh,
I know.
my kidneys are so bad.
Or you hear them choking on their own mucus, and you just want to say, "Quit drinking milk."
And coffee in the morning.
Yeah.
Because I worked in
Cavuto
news.
on Fox News or whatever. I always thought, if you don't get that throat cleaned out, you're walking to throat cancer, man. Because if you don't get this acid mucus out of these tissues, it'll break down the tissue.
Yeah.
You know, and your body tries to eliminate colds and flus. This is the biggest detoxification effort the body goes through. Unfortunately, the medical doctor calls them diseases and tries to treat them. A cold and flu-like symptom you should never treat. These flu shots, what a money-making machine that is, and what a hellville that'll take you. You can't suppress your body's ability to eliminate, and this is what allopaths have done. Treat by suppression. Oh, what you suppress today is your nightmare tomorrow.
Yeah.
You don't ever suppress your body's ability to eliminate and clean itself.
Oh, speaking of the flu shot, this is a fun story. I had somebody write in about their baby getting a flu shot and having such a reaction to it. The doctor I guess it's a series that they have to give, multiple shots for this flu thing. Wouldn't even let the baby come back for the second round of that flu shot because it was so bad.
You just can't, and the thing is that these babies are so toxic already, and to add more toxicity on top of toxicity is going to send them, like I said, to Hellville.
Yeah.
And these mothers and these fathers that are crying in anguish because their babies are distorted and neurologically compromised, and the hell that sends that family into, that just all gets to me. And it's just why we stand up for truth, and why we're telling you, all stand up with us, and we'll become a force to be reckoned with here, and we will get our clan healthy again and have a better experience on this rock, if you can.
Here's the email I was telling you about. This is, it says, a loved one of mine wants to get her uterus surgically removed because she has fibroids there. What can I tell her? She eats lots of fruits and veggies, but also cheese, breads, chocolates, nuts,
I read that one too.
goat's milk, oil, and salt. But in her mind, she has an excellent diet, so I don't know how to heal her that way. First of all, I want to comment on the last sentence. So I don't know how to heal her that way. That's not your responsibility, honey. That's that person's responsibility. She has to take her own health issues in her own hands, or she'll never get better. You can do all the prep for her. You can all the herbs, get them all ready for her. As long as she doesn't want to do it and you force her, she's not going to get better. So in her head, if she feels like surgically removing her uterus just to get around the fact of fibroids, those are so easy to get rid of. And even if she doesn't change her diet to 100%, even like 80%, she can still really do wonders on those fibroids if she's willing to put the effort in. Herself, not you. Herself. So that's where the tea would come into play, moving the kidneys and the lymph and the bowels, in my opinion. So. Well,
you know what's interesting is everything you see, whether it's fibroids, endometriosis, ovarian cysts, prostatitis, I don't care what you see, you can walk to that lymph system every single time, and that's where you find your answer every single time, because there's only two major fluids of the human body, two sides of chemistry, and two sets of eliminative organs, one for digestive waste and one for cellular waste. So you got to take a look at how simple this is set up. We've used our minds so much, and this is why we talk about getting out of your minds, that we've got so intellectual we become stupid. And that's you can see that. You lose common sense. And so this is why we say, get some common sense to you there.
Absolutely.
But you bring out the best point there is. You must excite your friends to take this on. And if they don't get excited, for your friend there, if she thinks milk and cheese is healthy for you, then she needs to rethink that. Because that has been talked about, research since the 1700s, how bad that is for you. Book after book. You're just not seeing those old books because they've been suppressed. All this consciousness has been hidden away by the Dairymen's Association, the Cattlemen's Association. They're major money chain. Look at what they did with Oprah. Look what the Cattlemen's Association, exercising her First Amendment rights. You know, because they sell crap. The milk industry, I'm sorry guys, you are part of the killing machine, and you've got to change this, because nothing is good with plastic. And that's what milk becomes when you ultra pasteurize it. It's plastic. And yet it's a big lie to us. So most of the food that she's eating here is causing the problem.
Yeah.
So she just got to realize that if it's not a fruit, a berry, and a melon, it's not a food for the Homo sapien. We can eat vegetables, okay. So fruits, berries, melons, and vegetables. Why do we want to keep straying into fields of foreign dreams that don't fit our species? And it's just because we've been trained this way, we've been raised this way, and we've had generations and generations of it. And yes, we have to readapt ourselves to the tropical way of life. Even if you're in Alaska, sorry.
Yeah.
You know? They're good points.
Yeah.
This is a friend of hers. She's trying to help.
Yeah, it's a loved one.
Going back to that, what you made, great
A loved
point,
one,
Jen.
that's even...
I love that. It's you know, whether it's a loved one, a family member, friend, you know, they appreciate your support and care. It's their responsibility. Going back to what you said, it's their journey. You have your own journey, and you know the only best thing that you can do is just be there for that person's support. You're their support system, just like we're supporting you, and you're supporting us.
You know, the key to a good healer is take it on yourself. Get the knowledge, work it on yourself, work the program, understand it, and start working with those that are receptive. Those that are not will be looking. And as you grow in your awareness and your strength and your knowingness, this comes forth through the way you talk to people. And the more experience you get, that comes through. You can know when you're talking to an experienced person over someone that's book read. And so that's the issue here. And you know, when you see us, you're talking about experience, because we didn't read this in books. You can't. This is what we've went through for years and tens of thousands of people. So we know what we're talking about. And we see it every time. Yes, there's struggles to this Wellville. There are struggles. And some don't make it. You know, some don't make it. And we keep learning. No one said we have the corner on this.
No.
We keep learning ourselves. And it saddens us that we have to learn through your experiences. But somebody has to learn somewhere. Can't keep doing the same thing over and over and over again like we've been doing. So this is why we're breaking these chains of unconsciousness here that people have wrapped themselves with. We're breaking those apart. Some of these ridiculous concepts and propaganda taught by the capitalists making money. There's nothing wrong with making money and being a capitalist if you do it where it doesn't hurt people. And even they don't know that. I'm sure dairy farmers think they're doing just the right way. But we have gotten 3 Amish major dairy farmers to go to vegetable raising. So we've done well through the years, you know.
I love that.
You got any more?
No. Oh, you don't?
Oh, good.
Oh, no, I do.
Yeah.
This is a lengthier one.
Well, we're going to take a little break.
No name from YouTube.
No name.
Well, we appreciate you sending this in. Hi, Dr. Morse. I have been taking your herbs for 6 months and still suffer from drop foot from MS.
Yes.
I haven't had any other symptoms or attacks for years. I have been 100% raw for 6 months, 95% on fruits, great job, and salad at night. Do you think you can suggest some herbs to add to my protocol that might or would help me regenerate that one problem?
Can you read the first part again? I was reading another one. I'm sorry.
Sure.
What are we dealing with?
This person has been
Drop
taking
foot.
the herbs for 6 months.
He's got a drop foot.
Suffers from drop foot
okay,
from
gotcha.
MS. So.
Okay, so let's look at this. And we want to look at this whenever you see the morphodizing of tissue or the augmentation of tissue. What's responsible for this? Well, there's only two sides of chemistry again. Which side breaks down, degenerates, and sucks the calcium out of tissue? And you can carry this back generation and generation, in your family history. It's the lymph again. And so what we have found is that when you get this system filtering, and you start getting all these acids out that are morphodizing the tissues, then the tissues, guess what, go back to their healthy state. Now, even if this was a genetic past, there's still that memory. But what else can we think about when we're talking about the prolapsing of something?
Calcium utilization.
Exactly! Boom! That's what makes you good.
Yeah.
Exactly. Calcium utilization. And where do we find that issue?
Parathyroid.
Parathyroid. Gotcha, man. Parathyroid.
I love you.
Yeah.
See,
we told him to say that afterwards.
Well, my teleprompter's not working. No. No. I have a teleprompter. No. One day
You're supposed to write out the answers for.
and whoever this is, one day this person hopes to inspire to be a great healer like you.
Oh, well, they will.
Or even take it to the next level, which they're doing.
Yeah, better healer.
I juice every day with fresh parsley and cilantro, dandelion, kale, cucumbers, celery, lemon, pear, apple, and ginger. Wow, this is the same person about the drop foot. And I'm just amazed. This taking it to the next level. Yeah. Absolutely.
It could take you a year or two to regenerate a drop foot, but so what?
What do you have to lose?
Yeah, I'd like to show some x-rays one of these days of, where we've taken fractured tissue that have healed and the body realigned itself. I've told them about this before in legs and in spines and things. Yeah, fingers. We see this all the time, where you can come in here with crooked fingers and they all start to go back and straight. We see this all the time.
Going back to the calcium, right?
Exactly. Calcium relation and remove the cause. What's the cause of the augmentation? Acids. And what system? Not the blood. You wouldn't be sitting there talking to us. So it's not the blood that's the problem, is it? It's the lymph. Unless you can find something else flying around in there.
So you think it's possible to heal this drop foot?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I would keep going with that. I'll tell you this. I work in the positive world. I think everything's possible. Because if you don't, there's always that but and if, and that never takes you anywhere. And living in the now, there is no buts and ifs. You really are and representative of the highest power you can be. And that's what's important about getting out of your mind and being a channel for the God force the most direct way you can, and that is you yourself. That power to help healing is unbelievable. Something else I've learned here recently, very important stuff, is you ladies, if you find a breast tumor, and I'll say this is so important here because I know, but I wanted to do this because we've seen this over and over now, repetitively. They're starting to go in with these biopsies and put a little metal chip in the breast where that tumor is so they can go in later. Guess what? We have found that the women that have had the biopsies and those metal chips, they're having a hard way to go. We're having a hard time saving them. And I don't know what it is about the biopsy. But I talked to a surgeon one time. I asked him, I said, biopsies always create serious problems. And for us, sometimes impossible problems. And I don't know what it is. But when they do that biopsy, and he looked at me and he said, well, that's my job.
Yeah.
Wow.
And a lot of people who fear the unknown of what actually is going on in their bodies, they feel like they need to have that answer. Why?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
You know what you have to do to get rid of it anyway, so why don't you put yourself in the mindset that this is what you have to do, and I'm going to do it regardless of if it is or is not. If it is, you're still going to get rid of it, and if it's not, then you're going to even get better.
What we have found is the least medical intervention, the better, and the more chances you're likely to get well in the proper way of getting well. Through detoxification. If you don't have anything done to you, any biopsies or anything, you are at the top of your ability to get well. If you start having medical intervention, you start losing those chances because medical intervention has nothing to do with getting well. It has everything to do with insulting tissue more, suppression, removal, and when you're going in and you're removing a tumor, okay, all right, that's okay. But what have you just done? You've went in and traumatized more tissue. He has to, or she has to, as a surgeon, to remove. They still have to damage billions of cells. What system What system has to go in and clean up the work from the surgeon or the work from the dentist? The lymph system. And if your lymph system isn't moving, you can't repair the surgical damage. So there's a lot to this. And those that go through this, their chances of living keep going down, 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 down.
And their chances.
Exactly. Your best chance of survival in this world is health. The focus of health, and drop these ridiculous concept of diseases in a wastebasket and understand really what's going on in your body.
Right on.
Right on. So guard yourself about these biopsies. Do you really care if there's a cancer cell in there or not? Who cares? Like you said, that was the best advice. Who cares? Go in and get it out, because we've lost some good people who cared whether that was a cancer cell or not, pushed by their medical doctor, and there was a couple cases we couldn't get them after they invaded that tissue. And don't ask us why. We just couldn't get them anymore.
And another point on breast and tumors is mammograms. Remember the one that was in the other day?
Oh, my God.
Had a mammogram squish her so much, which actually caused the tumor in the first place. So, ladies, be careful with mammograms. You might want to go towards thermograms, which are way less invasive.
Well, here's a government that says mammograms does cause cancer. I'll hand that to our government. Our government is on the ball and saying that mammograms do cause cancer, because that's a fact. All right, because radiation causes cancer. That's a fact. Can't get around it. And the way they do mammograms all invokes inflammation and damaging of cells. Well, why do we push to have them then? I'll tell you, society, when that came out a couple of years ago and the panel came out and said, don't do mammograms, do them less, the world rallied and said, no, we got to have them, there's got to wait. That was medical thinking. We're pushing for a scan or a diagnostic tool that causes cancer. No diagnostic tool should ever hurt you. None of them. And yet all of them have dyes hooked to them, radiation hooked to them. Look at CAT scans. My God, almost 300 rads. Yeah. Oh my friggin' God. And yet you have the simple iridology. And if you didn't have anything, just detox your body and clean it out.
Yeah. Yep. And be aware of your body too. Always, be in touch with what your body is trying to tell you.
Yeah, exactly.
Listen to it.
Yeah, you got to live in it for a while.
Listen to it and respond with detox.
Yeah.
Listen to it, and respond.
Learn how to have out-of-body experiences, and then you can go out of it anytime you want.
Absolutely. Where are we on time? Are we 10?
10:25.
Oh,
you have it 10?
I probably have a 10 o'clock I should go see, right?
Yeah, I think so.
They're probably going to be mad at me.
Probably so.
So,
Well, this is reality. This is...
Yeah, we're going to do more of these, and we're going to get more of our people out there to be involved in this, so you get to hear our side of what comes in here and what we go through trying to help you all. Because, we don't run. You've been through our place, and sometime we'll run the camera through our how we've expanded our business here and show you how we've done that. But we're not a big place. We're just here to help everybody. Our hearts are wide open for you. And so try not to get too mad at us. We're doing our level best. You can't just pick someone off the street and hire them that has the knowledge. No. And so we're training the people we just hired, and just bear with us, guys.
Yeah.
And just go to these videos. Yeah.
And we do get a lot of emails, which we really appreciate. It keeps us all going. It keeps us in business and so forth. But
we love your praises.
Yeah, they are really nice. But we're especially getting back from the holiday too. Please be a little bit more patient with us getting back to you on some questions. If it's emergency, I do skim through the emails on my side to see which ones are a little bit more pertinent than others. Not that anybody is less important, but I do try to get those out as quickly as possible. So. Hang in there.
Yeah, hang in there.
And one last thing, to everyone out there, Happy New Year, and this is a brand new year, 2013. Let's make our resolution not only healthy, but this is your journey. So this is your journey of detoxification. This is your, it's your universe, and let it be yours.
Exactly.
You're going to get better. No matter whether there's a chronic degenerative condition, it's your journey. And just take it into your own hands, and we're here for you. And just please connect with Dr. Morse. If you need to schedule an appointment, and write him on YouTube so he can respond to you.
Well, I like what you say, and I think the important thing to take home with all of this is that this is your journey, and that Who cares what anybody around you thinks? Even your husband or your wife, who cares? We've seen a lot of people die from the husband or the wife wanting to go allopathically, full of fear, and now they don't have a mate. So all we can say is, this is your life, your world, and you gain control of it. And then help others. Remember, as a mom, put the oxygen on your face first and then protect your children. Get your life in order and then help others. We love you all so much. Thanks for putting up with us.
Thank you. We'll see you again.
Have a good day.
Bye.